Alright, so basically every Houston Rockets fan knows that the Houston Rockets have a lot of things to do in this offseason and a lot of choices they have to make for this roster. And quite honestly, there are only really two players that the Houston Rockets really need to keep this offseason. And honestly, it's Sterling Brown and David Nwaba. Now, I will say there are obviously like more players on the team that deserve to be on the team next season, but we're talking about these two free agents because they're gonna be not gone next season, and they're quite honestly fan favorites. So, what's up? My name is Jae'sean. Today we're talking about why Sterling Brown and David Nwaba should stay on this team in the future, and why Stone should resign them in the offseason. Before that, really quick, if you like the video, drop it down below, press subscribe button, and let's get into the video. So I chose to do a video on Sterling Brown and David Nwaba just for the simple fact that they've both been really fan favorites ever since they came to the Houston Rockets, man. Obviously, it took them a long while for them to really develop into the players they are today. I mean, like, Sterling Brown didn't really start getting going until, I want to say, mid-March. I mean, maybe mid-March, early February. So, Sterling Brown, man, like he definitely turned it up in the later half of the first half of the season. So, definitely would like to keep Sterling Brown for the long run, and he's only 26 years old too. And then we got David Nwaba here, who definitely turned it up. The first, like, even when he came to the team, man, he really turned it up for the team. Had a lot of defensive plays, had a lot of hustle plays, man. Someone that can drive the ball, handle the ball, but his only really weakness was obviously shooting the three ball, shooting at basically 27% over the season. And basically is 28 years old. So he's definitely at that age where he can help a contender win, but also doesn't want to be on a rebuilding team. So that's kind of the problem with David Nwaba is that, I don't think he wanted to play for a rebuilding team for the simple fact that he can help a contending team in so many ways, man. He just has defense, has a really good offensive game, except for obviously shooting the three ball. So I think we'll just start getting into the reasons first with Sterling Brown. So I feel like everyone knows Sterling Brown. Over the season, averaging 24 points, 24 minutes, and averaging 8.2 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. So Sterling Brown, man, like he's been absolutely amazing. Like before he went down with, I want to say, the knee injury, and then obviously the accident with the Miami thing. But over the season, shooting 45% from the field and 42% from three. That 42% from three is absolutely amazing, man. Coming off the bench, before he went down with the injury, he was shooting like lights out from three. I want to say he's been absolutely amazing, and basically this is his best career averages in his whole career. I mean, averaging 24 minutes is basically the most minutes he's averaged in his whole career, averaging 8.2 points, which is the most points he's been averaging. 4 rebounds, most. 1.4 rebound, 1.4 assists is basically that's tied for his career high. So, basically, like this season, Sterling Brown has had career highs in every category in his game, man, and it's honestly like really amazing because he's been improving like every year. So, it's pretty amazing. So Sterling Brown, the thing like he brings to the team is that he can shoot the three ball, but also complete defense for us, man. He's a really solid like defender off the bench, man. I mean, like obviously he's not the greatest defender, but when he tries, he can actually play some pretty nice defense. So I feel like Sterling Brown could definitely provide us with a lot of upside in the future, man. Only being 26 years old. The only thing about Sterling Brown that needs to improve is that he needs to be more consistent, man. I mean, like this season alone, like he had a lot of games where he'd get like 20 minutes, and like the next game he'd get like 5 minutes, man. So Steven Silas needs to give him more consistent minutes, man, and I guarantee you he can actually average like 10 plus points per game, man. I feel like he'd be that type of player off the bench, averaging double figures for us, and quite honestly could become a six man. His game definitely reminds me of an Eric Gordon type of game where like he can basically come off the bench, give us a lot of scoring. I mean, this season alone he had a lot of 20-point games off the bench and was honestly really good for us when he started this season too. So I definitely feel like Sterling Brown is kind of like an Eric Gordon type player where he can come off the bench, give us some scoring, give us some defense, and get out of the game. So Sterling Brown, we need to keep him. Now the next player we got, obviously David Nwaba. So Nwaba, I went into him a little bit earlier, but he's basically 20 years old, averaging 22.6 minutes, 9.2 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist and a steal. So David Nwaba, man. Sorry. So David Nwaba, averaging 9.2 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist and a steal. David Nwaba on the defensive end, man, absolutely amazing player. He has a lot of hustle plays. When there's a fast break, he goes for the block, man. And honestly, it's really amazing to see that he just does everything on the court so well, and he's always there, like anywhere on the court. He's also someone that's really reliable and someone the team that can rely on. So A lot of times in the season, we'd go to David Nwaba, man. He scored the ball for us when we go in cold streaks. Obviously, like he has a really good driving game. He can really dunk the ball too, which is pretty nice. He's actually pretty fast too, if I say so myself. So, um, basically, like over the season, he's basically been averaging like the most amount of points his whole career. Like 9.2 points is a career high. 22.6 minutes is a second best in his career. His shooting splits are down from the last few years, man. Shooting 49% from the field and 27% from three, which is absolutely horrendous. I mean, it makes sense though, because honestly, his 3-point shot, like it's kind of weird, man. His shot in general, like his form is pretty like distorted and stuff, but we don't have to really worry about that. And then other than that, I mean, like he's averaging a career high in steals and basically nothing else. So David Nwaba, man, he just provides a lot of things on the defensive end for the Houston Rockets that we could honestly need in the future. But the only thing that really alarms me is that he's 20 years old, and teams are definitely going to go for him in the offseason, man, because he just provides a lot of things for other teams that the Houston Rockets don't really need because they're a rebuilding team. So honestly, I feel like David Nwaba might honestly go to contender this offseason, maybe like the Lakers or the Nets. Like those are the two teams that pop into my mind. But honestly, like there could be other teams that go for David Nwaba too. So, but honestly, I really hope that David Nwaba stays with the team, man. I feel like he definitely would like it here to stay. Obviously, playing beside Christian Wood, KPJ, man, because they didn't really get to play with each other. Because obviously he went down with an injury. KPJ was in the G League. Christian Wood was injured. Like it was an absolutely horrendous season, but. We didn't like these two players never really got to play with the team, man. Like this team alone never got to play fully healthy, and I feel like when we're fully healthy, man, we could be really deadly in the playoffs, and especially like we could be really deadly for like maybe a first round matchup. We could have been like the OKC of last year, so nobody really wants to verse us because we're actually like pretty good. So, but obviously like that's obviously talking when we're fully healthy. So, other than that, we need to keep Sterling Brown. We need to keep David Nwaba. I'd really sign them for maybe Sterling Brown, maybe like 2 years, 3 years. I don't really know what type of money he'd really like, man. I mean, maybe I'm not really sure. Maybe like 5 million for 2 years. I want to say it's not too bad, but David Nwaba, I'd sign him for maybe 2 years, man. Maybe like $6 million. I don't really know, but I definitely really want to keep these two in the future. So that's the video. If you guys like the video, drop it down below. Press subscribe button, and I'm out. Peace.